the quick point I would like to make is going back to, I don't like fakes and I don't like frauds. Be real. This is the reality tip on earth. Be real. If you don't like me, that's cool. I can handle it. If you like me, that's cool. Whatever, be real. I don't like hypocrites. I don't like folks that brown nose who say that they like you and in reality they really don't. I'm saying this to make this point. Just recently, we had this incident. Some say that it was made up, whatever. We're going to just say, just for the sake of argument, that it was real. And as far as we know, it was real. Where this Facebook killer murdered this elderly brother of soul. Many of you act like, oh, that was so terrible, and you send your condolence to the family, and y'all did all this kind of stuff, which is nice and good. Beautiful reaction to something that's tragic. I cannot say anything bad or ill about that. However, going back to being fake, being fraud, for many of y'all, some of you are sincere, but for many of y'all, if that elderly brother of soul, he did not believe in Kemet, he did not believe he was an African, he did not believe he was that he was a Muslim or a Hebrew Israelite or a Moor. He did not believe in some of this stuff that y'all and spirits and spooks and angels and aliens coming from outer space. All this stuff that y'all talking about. If you really knew this man and he did not believe the crap that you believe, then you would turn around with your fake ass and then you would say, that's why he dead. That's why he got killed like that. Many of you know that I question the all African, that black folks are African. First of all, Africa is not a people. It's a continent. Africa is not a people. It's a continent. What people are you talking about? You keep saying we're African. African what? Are you Somali, Ghanaian, Congolese, Rhodesian? What African are you? Nigerian? What African are you? Be specific. Then you want to get angry at me because you don't know what the hell you're talking about. So you get angry at me because I reject your African stuff and the transatlantic slave trade. There's a lot of questions. I reject your Jesus and your Allah and your Muhammad and Hebrew this and the Moors. I reject all and the Kemetic, all your black scholarship stuff. I reject all of it. So if the Facebook killer has shot me down with your fake ass, good form. That's what happened to you when you don't believe in God. And you would have nothing to say but evil things, even though I was an innocent person, minding my own business, and some wacky dude came and shot me down for nothing. I didn't do nothing to him. But because you don't like how I think, then you clap your hands because somebody murdered another person. This shows how sick so many of you really are. Y'all sick. I don't care what that elderly brother believed. I don't care if he ate pork. I don't care if he smoked weed. I don't care what he done. I don't care what he was believing. I will still feel the same. But not for some of y'all fakes and frauds. Oh, see, he got what he deserved. That's God's punishment and all this other stuff that you come up with. Y'all some sick, stanky, nasty, wicked beasts. And if that's what your religion, that's what your ideology create. I damn sure don't want nothing to do with it. I don't want nothing to do with your crap. Because you're evil. You're an evil Muslim. You're an evil Hebrew Israelite. You're an evil Moor. You're an evil person who believes in Kemetic African science or whatever. Y'all some evil things. And I already get enough of that from the oppressor. Not gonna, damn sure not gonna stand it from y'all Negroes. But you're fakes, a bunch of fakes. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Woo! I got that off my chest. I feel much better now. And that's why you don't like me, because on this platform, on this roster, I'm going to keep it real. If I have a problem, I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to smile in your face and stab you in the back. And I'm damn sure not going to wish bad luck on you. Oh, since you don't believe you can't support the reality's temple and you got hit by that train, see what happened to you? I'm not going to send you a dime. Let Jesus help you. Y'all. And then you turn right around talking about, I love black people. No, you only love those you that haven't told you in your face they're not interested in your crap. Because as soon as you find out, even though they black, now you hate them. You Negroes are so sick. And you need to go to hell with your massa. You are nothing but a bunch of black, dark-skinned, Negro, colored, African-American, wannabe African, fake Muslim devils. Oh, yeah. With that said, this is shorter than what I normally do. So I kept my word on that. I'm watching the time. Because it don't take much to tell these suckers off. Fake. All that condolence, I feel, send it to the family. Y'all a bunch of fakes. But when I tell the family of this innocent man who was murdered senselessly, when I send condolence and offer empathy and sympathy to the family, I mean it. I don't care what they believe. I don't care what they do or whatever. Because that was tragic what happened to their loved one. In religion, they use the word blessing. In religion, they use the word blessed. So I will use that word, that I was blessed. And it was a blessing for me as a child to be raised in an environment surrounded by life. When I woke up every morning, there was a rooster crowing. Cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo, every morning. And I heard the birds singing early in the morning. And you could watch them fly by your window. And our chickens had got up. They were already in the yard looking for food and pecking around. And you could see the pigs and animals moving around. You might see a deer now and then, and a raccoon or a possum. Surrounded, you was growing your own food, but there were oak trees and peach trees and pecan trees. You were surrounded by all this fauna. And not too far from your house, there might have been a pond. And we would go to the pond and play in the water, and you would see the bullfrogs jumping back and forth. And the water in the pond was so clear, you could see the fish swimming. And I would spend, as a child, I would spend hours and hours just watching the chickens. I would spend hours and hours watching the ants on the ground as they went about their daily business every day. And look up in the trees, and you could see the birds make their nests, and then you would see the baby birds, and they would go back and forth and feed the baby birds. I was surrounded by nature. I was surrounded by life. So, in my adulthood, at this present time, I tell people when they ask me, who is your teacher? I tell you that my teacher is nature itself. All life has similarities, and also specific life has similarities. You may not be an elephant, you may not be a hippopotamus, you may not be a coyote, you may not be a bear, but all of these are mammals, and all mammals have certain similarities. But all life itself has similarities, because one thing for sure, if you take away the oxygen, life will die. If you take away the water, life dies. Life has a connection to this planet. This planet is the only real God that we know. This planet brings us into existence, and it also takes us away. It's the only real God that we know, besides our parents that came from this planet, or was caused to come from up out of this planet. Nature is my teacher. I respect Dr. Clark, Amos Wilson, and Dr. Ben, and so many of y'all great teachers, Elijah Muhammad. I respect all of our teachers. But the ultimate teacher, in fact, if it was not for this teacher, they could not exist, and that is nature itself. And this planet represents and gives us life. Anything other than life, well, let me also say too, it also gives us death, because that's the balance of the planet. That's just the natural way of things. However, we cross the line with excessive, unusual, and abnormal death. So I'm raised by life, and that's why many of you can't comprehend where I'm coming from, because I concentrate on life. My God is alive. My thinking is alive. Everything about me is alive. Nothing dead has value for me. I am not impressed, or I give value to something that is not alive. So money I don't care nothing about your money. I don't care nothing about your diamonds and your gold and your cars and your houses. All those things are non-living. I could care the hell less. However, if you was raised by the dead, and the Negro, I was taught that the G in Negroes is interchangeable with the K and the C, which gives us a base word called necra. Necra means dead, Ology, necrology is the study of the dead. Negro means dead. Negro in Spanish means black. A black, what is black that is dead? A person who is dead mentally. The Negro. Called black people. African Americans and other names. But one thing that is for sure, mentally dead. Necron, dead. And you enjoy being dead. Because those things that are dead give you value. Those things that are dead give you your I can't say life because you're dead. But I guess that gives you a reason to want to live because of your connection to the dead. You are obsessed with the worship of those things that live or exist in the realm of death. Jesus is not here. Jesus died on the cross. So you are attracted to the dead. Muhammad, of course, is not here. And you are obsessed with that. Dead. You got your diamond rings and your money and your houses and your cars. All these things that you must have in order to survive. Dead. What type of surroundings was most of y'all born into? Because you don't appreciate life. Many of us, we was raised in an environment filled with crime, filled with drugs. We don't know nothing about plants and ponds, concrete, breathing bad air, drinking bad water. People running around, preying on one another. You are living in an environment of predation, exploitation. You actually wear the sign of death around your neck, the cross. You put that around your neck. But when somebody physically dies, you put that cross on their grave, and then you take that symbol of death that the Jesus died on, that your relative is in the cemetery, you put the cross there, and then you put that cross around your neck. You are obsessed with people who are dead. The ancient Egyptians, they did great things, but they can't do great things no more because they are dead. And you put this another cross-looking thing around your neck to represent that you're dead. And these other different staffs, they have almost the form of a cross. And a cross represents death. And you actually think that somebody dead. You think that your teachers and what you think and what you believe, you think that you're going to be smarter than somebody that is alive. The dead can do nothing for itself. If you fall down dead right here, that's where they're going to find you. The late singer Prince, he died in an elevator somewhere at Paisley Park. It took somebody that was alive to take him from up out of the elevator to wherever they did. They cremated his body, whatever they did. But he could not do it no more. Because the dead can't do nothing in and of itself. It takes somebody living. You have to be embraced and obsessed with life. Life is what moves this planet. Life is what gives activity to this planet. This planet is different from many other planets in the solar system because it has life. And the scientists look into the stars not because they're not looking for something that's dead. They're looking for signs of life. You have never experienced life because you don't have a connection to nature. You have been taken up out of the natural world. And instead of being obsessed and attracted to things that are alive, because if you love things that are alive, it's hard We need to eat. But since we like life, we're only going to take what we need. We're not going to overfish. We're not going to overkill the buffalo. We're going to be careful how we treat our forest because we love life. We hate to do what we have to do. But when you have a disconnect from life, you have a different attitude because you've fallen in love with things that are not alive. And you made things that are not alive have more value than those who are alive. There's nobody here on this planet, to me, more valuable the diamond is not more valuable than you are. The pearl is not more valuable than you are. Life is more valuable than the diamond or the car or all this other stuff that we focus on. When we look at the deer society, deer life, when you look at the bees, when you look at the penguins, what do you think is the most value in deer society among the bees, among the penguins, among the lions? Another lion is valuable. Not a tree, not a rock, but another living being just like themselves. It's love. Love for life. Another deer is the most important part of a deer's world. Another bee is the most important. Another bear, another hippopotamus, another elephant. That's what's important to them. Another life that looks like them, but it's alive. Here you are. And some of y'all, your TV is more precious than your next door neighbor. Your car is more valuable than your wife. We put these things that we make with our hands, these things that are not alive, we make them more valuable than another human being. They are more valuable than the birds, more valuable than getting a fresh cup of water out of a pond or a lake. We have fallen into insanity with things. So of course, when I tell you to get on board the soul train, you can't comprehend getting on board the soul train because the soul represents life. You take the soul away from the body, then the body is considered dead. So this ministry is about bringing the dead to life. Taking that dead body, putting it aboard the soul train, and give you a journey into life and take you up out of death. But there's a disconnect when we don't have value on life. We don't have value, or we don't see value in the ants and the bees and the plants and the deer and the possums and the badgers or whatever. You can actually sit around and you don't mind a giraffe locked up in a zoo and an elephant locked up in a zoo. You think that's normal. You think that's a good thing. You saving animals. Then allowing the animal to be alive. That giraffe should be out somewhere in Africa somewhere, doing what giraffes do, as well as the elephant and all these animals in zoos and these people in zoos. If a person does something so terrible, give them the death penalty when we have no doubt and be done with it. Otherwise, give people a punishment, thrashings or whatever. But instead, we pile everybody up in these prisons. That's not life. Why would you, a person that enjoys life, you find a way to punish people in a humane manner? But basically, what I wish to get across here is our disconnect from nature itself. Because we've been around and we've been raised around unnatural people that find more value in a rock, find more valuable in oil than other human beings. And we have become, or we are just like them. They are the zombies. They are the living dead. That's what is meant by zombies. Let us not be zombies. Let us embrace nature.
Beating your people and abusing your woman, you have to draw a line and say there's just certain things that I'm not going to do. And so if you instill those principles of discipline and draw a line of what you will and will not do, then God can bless you with success as you move through life.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank Brother Akbar. This was and is the Realities Temple on Earth.
Okay, am I on the air? I hope so. I don't want to do this again. I only have 8 minutes. You just saw the clip. That's where I've known this brother for years. I soldiered with him. He is the international representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Brother Akbar Abdul Muhammad. When I was under his leadership, he was Brother Larry X. Now, again, I have to be brief. Please bear with me. I want to say a lot within 7 minutes. So just go for the ride. Get on board the soul train. I am Angel Snub 7, as you know, and this is the Realities Temple on Earth. I want to send this message to Brother Ben X. I want to send this message to Brother Ben X because Brother Ben X made allegations or accusations that Angel Snub 7, when he was in the Nation of Islam, was not a sincere brother, was not honest, did not have the right intent, and all that type of stuff. And I want to say to Brother Ben X, that's a hellified accusation, self-righteous and arrogant, and I want you to prove that. So I'm going to give you another story. I want to tell you about how I got my Malcolm X pen. I want to tell you this very quick story. I went to the mosque. You know the meetings start at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's sometimes it's an all-day affair. And I went to the mosque and I listened to I believe he was speaking that day. Excuse me, wrong pick. I believe he was speaking that day, Brother Akbar. He was speaking that day, and I enjoyed going to the mosque and listening to him speak, and it was really nice. So, as time went on, I want to say this to you. I offered my services because I believe Minister Farrakhan was coming to town or whatever. I offered my services. I don't have to search, but I could do security on the outside. You know, I could do, they know who I am. They know my credentials. And I talked to the minister of that temple, known me for years. He rejected my services. Well and good, cool. So I went through the search, and the brothers can't search. Y'all really don't, you have not been trained. Y'all don't know how to search. I've been to different mosques, and y'all really have not been trained properly. You really don't know how to search. But that's another issue. I'm putting that out there. So to bring that up so that y'all can improve what you do, you should be able to search properly. So, Brother Akbar spoke. It was an all-day affair. Brother Akbar spoke, and then he also was supposed to be, and he was the keynote address speaker at this event. The guest speaker is Akbar Muhammad, and he spoke. As you can see, it does not start to 6:30 p.m. So we already been at the temple all day long, and he's supposed to speak at 6:30 p.m. Now, you know, Brother Ben, you being a FOI, and since you know so much about the Nation of Islam, no minister, no official is supposed to go anywhere without security, without the FOI. And Brother Akbar gave them the option. I need the security, but you guys, it's been all day. I know that you're tired. And they decided, the FOI, the soldiers, they decided that they was going to stay home because they was tired. Here you are, a soldier, and you tired, and this is actually the second man in charge of the Nation of Islam. So I told Brother Akbar, it makes no difference about them. You're going to have some kind of security. I will be there. I will have your back. Here's a brother, not in the temple any longer. I got your back. So by the time the event happened, the minister of the East St. Louis Temple and his wife showed up. I was there, and another brother, Brother Ronnie, was there. Brother Ronnie is a little on the handicapped side. He's an FI. He was walking on the cane, but he was there to support Brother Akbar. This is where I picked up my FOI pen. Not FOI, but this is where I got my Malcolm X pen. Because I was securing somebody the FOI failed to secure, the second man in charge in the Nation of Islam. Explain that to me. But there's a problem with me. I don't have the right intent. I'm not sincere. There's a problem with me. Just because we are no longer believers in the faith, I'm still your brother. There are those who want a slave. Every time I come around, brother, when you coming back to the rank, I'm not interested in the ranks. We are brothers. The Nation of Islam, y'all not interested in brotherhood. The only thing that you want is slaves. That's the bottom line. I've shown exactly. Here I am. I'm not in the nation. And I'm securing the second man in charge. And the FOI at home, they tired because they've been up all day. But I'm not going to be your slave. I'm your brother. Don't question my sincerity. Don't question my intent. Because I'm your brother. I don't care if you're Muslim, atheist, a drunk in the street, whatever that you find yourself, I'm your brother. I'm not looking for nobody to be my slave. But you have these cliques, you have these people, they looking out to be a slave. So the reason why I have this Malcolm X pen is because I was being a brother to a brother I soldiered with for years, the second man in charge under Minister Farrakhan, Brother Akbar? What was this FOI? But you have the nerve to try to tell me what I'm about, my intent. I didn't understand. Well, why the people that understand, how come they stayed home and didn't secure their minister? Explain that to me, Brother Ben X. Because this subject brings tears to my eyes. It makes me very sad, yet it makes me so angry. Because these who are the descendants of slaves, including myself, all of us, the descendants of slaves, born in America having dark skin, the people of soul, we deserve freedom. We deserve liberation. We deserve to be put in a place so that we can enjoy our lives for the first time in perhaps thousands of years. Well, let's just say us and our relatives. But we at least going on 500 years. We deserve better. We are so innocent. We have done nothing to no one. Born, created, placed in a situation. We don't deserve the type of treatment, the hate, the murder, the rape, the exploitation, and I could go on and on. That we've done nothing to deserve these things. And then we turn around, those who claim they love us, they turn around for a few pieces of silver, for celebrity, for a place of worship in this filthy, decadent world, which should be thrown in some universal garbage dump. They will sell us out so they can live comfortable in this pool of filth. I heard a person, matter of fact, it was Minister Farrakhan, that said our situation is so dire that it would make a brass monkey cry. And what is so sad is that whether we like it or not, the man that said this seems to be part of the problem instead of the solution. So we are here again. And many of you, as soon as you saw the title, here we go again. This black guy, that's what brother Ben called me, a black guy. He don't even call me brother. He said, this black guy is talking about the minister again. This black guy is talking about the Nation of Islam again. Why? Because you are following leadership that has no real sincere love for the people of soul. You are out for yourself. You're trying to convert the people of soul into slaves for your dirty religion. And you should be ashamed of yourself. But you're not. You want a place at the slop jar, at the trough where all the pigs gather to eat their filth, and you want some filth too. Because all of us, we have grown accustomed to living in filth, living in vulgarity and profanity and debauchery and nastiness. You can't even talk to another black man or woman or brother and sister of soul without being profane and vulgar and nasty. But yet and still, you talk about change. But none of you want to change. None of you really want to change because you've grown accustomed to living with fleas. You've grown accustomed having feces on your skin. So we're here again because it's only fair. It's fair because you say that the Nation of Islam represents freedom, justice, and equality. There are no big I's or little U's. Am I right or am I wrong? And that goes for everybody. That should go for God himself. Wallace Farrakhan Muhammad should be under the same thing as well as the messenger or anybody else. There are no big I's or little U's. If Wallace Farrakhan Muhammad came to North America by himself and he said, if I reach just one, that would basically make his day, then that should show you the value of those of whom he's trying to reach. It makes no sense for you to seek something like this just so that you can exploit somebody that has nothing. There are people who have stolen from me. I have nothing. It makes no sense. If you want to steal, why don't you steal from somebody that has something? When I was a child and I did a little thievery, we did not steal from those in our neighborhood because we knew they didn't have nothing. We actually went to where the middle class rich folks live and we did our stealing. In America, there's a link in the description box. So I'm making reference to that link. There's a link in the description box that you need to read and check out. In America, there's a system of law. In the Nation of Islam, there's a system of law. Restrictive law of Islam. There's a system of law. In America, as you know, some believe they are above the law. In the Nation of Islam, it seems as though that's the same thing. There are those who believe they are above the law. Yet and still, there are no big I's and no little U's. But some are outside of the law. Because really, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad himself should have been placed on trial when it was found out that he was making babies with young girls. That's because that's not his teaching. Where is this coming from? You need to justify yourself. You need to be brought before the body. You should have a prosecutor and a defense. If there's no big I's and little U's, then the messenger himself should have been put on trial. But clearly, some are above the law, and some of us are denied law. Malcolm X wanted to go before the believers. In America, you have the right to face your accusers. In the Nation of Islam, you're supposed to have the right to face your accusers. Malcolm was denied that right because Malcolm would have tore them up. They know it. You know it. Malcolm would have smashed and crushed them. So we're not going to allow him to come before the believers because they might believe him. And he might expose us for what we really are. So in conclusion, what I'm really saying, or want to say, Louis Farrakhan, Minister Farrakhan, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, he was not honorable when I was a FOI. He was just Louis Farrakhan, National Representative of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. In fact, he told us, Minister Farrakhan told us, do not call me Honorable Minister Farrakhan. I'm just Louis Farrakhan, representative of Elijah Muhammad. That's all I am. Your little brother. That's what he told us. I saw this come out of his mouth. I was standing only a few feet from him when he said that come out of his mouth. Don't call me honorable. And now all of a sudden, he's the honorable this, he's the honorable that. Well, what kind of honor do you have, sir? When you click on this link and all these accusations, I'm not going to say whether they are true, not going to say whether they are false. What I'm going to simply say is that there's enough accusations and allegations. There are people who are witnesses who are willing to come forth. We can have a trial. And what did you say about Malcolm? Without a trial. You said that Malcolm was a hypocrite. You said that he was a traitor. And he did not have a trial. And he was worthy of death. So if Malcolm is a man worthy of death, if what is good for the goose is good for the gander, now the charges are coming to you. Are you any different? It's your turn. Many of us, we can dish it out, but we can't take it. In the link, there are accusations that Louis Farrakhan has many children outside of his marriage. Back in the 80s, when we raised $2.2 million, it is alleged that Minister Farrakhan used some of that $2 million that we raised to try to get Mas Mariam and some other former Nation of Islam properties. He used 50 grand or so to help singer Melba Moore get out of debt because he was having an affair with her. Or he was using the money as hush money to keep her quiet on what was going on between him and her. And you know, now that I go back and look at it, I remember seeing some of these speeches that Minister Farrakhan made. Because I started to notice, I was looking at his wife, Sister Khadija Farrakhan. Most respect to her. But I think that you know, and many people know that your husband ain't right. He's not right. But he's your source of income. And you've been living this life. But I noticed on some of the speeches, most of the time Sister Khadija looks at him in a loving, warm manner. But I noticed on some of those speeches, lectures, she was looking at him with an angry looking face. I'm like, I noticed that in Sister Khadija, but I'm like, I wonder why she's looking at him like that. What's going on? Now, these affairs have come up. The secret life of Louis Farrakhan is coming out. Now, I'm starting to put the pieces together, and I see why Sister Khadija was staring at him like that. Because she had found out about the wives and the affairs. And you don't believe that you should not go before the believers in a trial? Really? If you're not guilty, there should be no problem. But if you're guilty, just like this article suggests, you need to be treated just like anybody else. You should be removed from your post, and you should be suspended for at least 5 years. And when you do return, then you come back as a regular FOI.
Cassius Clay, the brother that used to be the secretary to Cassius, or as Elijah Muhammad now calls him, Muhammad Ali Clay, was beaten in Boston recently, and this brother was a captain. He was one of the karate experts who taught karate on the entire East Coast, Eastern region, and he was in the inner circle. And he pointed out that in October, he didn't cease being a captain, but his influence or authority was placed beneath that of Clarence, the captain who's in Boston. Clarence was put over Joseph, and shortly after that, as Leon Amir testified, Clarence, the captain from Boston, and John, the captain from Springfield, Massachusetts, came to New York to carry out this so-called assassination. And they came to Leon looking for a silencer for their gun. Well, see, I understand all of it, but they parked half a block from my house here in the home of Alvin, who's also one of Elijah Muhammad's men, looking for a chance when they could, make their move. But thanks to Allah, they didn't get a chance.
All right, brothers and sisters, this behind me is the home of Malcolm X. Minister Louis Farrakhan's brother, Alvin Farrakhan, stayed right there. Turn that camera around. Where you're looking at Danny's grocery store, right above, he stayed in apartment 2B. That's Alvin Farrakhan. Again, the proximity. Just for your information.
This is Leon Amir, who was Cassius Clay's secretary, whom they beat unmercifully up in Boston.
I was attacked by them in Boston on December the 25th in the lobby, the hotel lobby of the Sherry Biltmore Hotel. And they're still after me.
And it was he who heard Elijah Muhammad Jr. come to New York when Elijah Muhammad was at the Armory in June of last year. Junior stood up and told the fruit, many of whom are here now also, that I should have been killed, that my tongue should have been put in an envelope and sent back to Chicago by now. And then Clarence, the captain from Boston, and John, the captain from Springfield, came to New York to assassinate me and came to him to get a silencer and couldn't get it. So the police know this. It's not something that's new. They just wait until the job is done and then they step in.
Peace, love, and always. This is your brother Taalik Ibn'rad. This is another edition of the Reality Check on Earth. And I'm here with my brother Muhammad. Now y'all know I can run my mouth, but I'm choked up and standing to this brother. This is my training ground. I'm here in the nation of Islam once again. And this is the brother that I worked with when I was 18 years old. Man, I'm so choked up. Brother Akbar. Yes, sir. I'm very choked up, guys. I'm very nervous. This is Brother Akbar Muhammad. He's the international representative of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Brother that I am proud of and happy with. He was a perfect example when I was a young man growing up. Brother Akbar. I'm just so choked up, brother. It's so nice to meet you, man.
It's good to see you again.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
be able to talk to you.
Yes, sir.
For your viewing audience.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. That goes to show you that this is brother for real. This brother has not seen me in years, but as soon as I requested an interview, I got this. Y'all just don't know. Black unity, brothers. Brother Akbar, that's what I would like to ask you before, I just wanted to make it short because I'm pretty sure you're a busy brother. And I would just like for you to tell my audience the importance of it is for black unity, for us to come together as a people in order to progress and do what we need to do. Like you said today in the lecture, I'm going to get this brother's lecture today was on legacy, and so that we can have and pass down a beautiful and wonderful legacy to our children.
Yes. Well, first of all, I think that, when you go through this life and you reach a certain point, you realize that there's always ups and downs, and there's things that you agree and disagree with individuals. But it should never disrupt the unity that we need as a people because of our history of struggle. And we have to work through our problems. It's like a married couple trying to work through their problems that they have. And it doesn't go good all the time.
Yes, sir.
But unity and the ability to work together is most important for our people in America. And right now, there's a wedge being driven between the Christian and the Muslim community over what's happening in the world. Yes, there's another wedge being driven about Barack Obama. Some black people are showing dissatisfaction with it, but they got to give him a chance, as we have to give each other a chance, and find things that we can agree upon mutually that will help benefit our people and to work for a better life for our people in America. And the only way we can do it is by working together. We can't do it by falling out with each other and everybody going their own way. but we got to find a way to work in unity, because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, in your unity, that is your strength.
Do you think that it's possible to progress without black unity?
No, you cannot progress without black unity. It's like asking me, can a family make progress for their children if the mother and the father are divided and always battling with each other? They can't make progress. And then the children become divided. They become confused over who they think is right and who they think is wrong. But they got to find a way to work together so that those children can progress.
Yes, sir. And before, I'd like to thank you for the interview. Before I close, I would like for you to tell the listening audience really quick about your experience with me as a young man in the Nation of Islam growing up.
Right. Well, first of all, I want to say that all of the young brothers like yourself that came in, I always try to set some example and give them goals to reach, and let them know that discipline in their personal life is the key to their success, regardless of where they go in life, and that they have to have some principles that they live by.
Yes, sir.
They can't be, on the street today, you find people that will do anything. There's no limit. They don't have no line that they draw, they cross any line. But at least when you were a young man in the nation, what I tried to instill with all those young brothers that came in with you, that you have to draw a line, certain things that you will not do. Start at something simple as once you became a Muslim, you drew a line. You wouldn't just go back and eat pork. That's drawing a line. I got a principal position. Then when it comes to the abuse and robbing and beating your people and abusing your woman, you have to draw a line and say there's just certain things that I'm not going to do. And so if you instill those principles of discipline and draw a line of what you will and will not do, then God can bless you with success as you move through life.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank Brother Akbar. This was and is the Reality Temple on Earth.